Life's too short to save everything, says Ben Carlson. And I'm usually a big fan of Ben. The beginning of this article, no, but we'll dive into it later because I am a big fan of his conclusion. Not a big fan of the premise. So let's read this. Ben, he writes over at, he is at Ritholtz Wealth Management. I'm not the biggest fan of Ritholtz Wealth Management. I'll just tell you that right now. Big libs, way too braggadocious. Those guys. I don't like their style. I'm sure they don't like my style. If they knew who I am, I'm sure they don't. That's fine. But anyway, I do like Ben Carlson's writing. That's for sure. So Dateline May 14th, 2021. Ben Carlson. I distinctly remember listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with infectious disease expert Michael Hosterholm 2 to 3 days before the shutdowns began. And all right, let me just read. I remember that. I could not believe that was what started the sheep, because Joe Rogan was like what they think is a man's man. He's a tough guy. Joe Rogan's like, what, 5'6", something like that, 5'4". Anyway, so a lot of men follow Joe Rogan because they think he's a tough guy. Joe Rogan was scared crapless. And of course, a lot of men follow suit. Say, well, I'm scared crapless too. Joe Rogan's scared crapless because of Osterholm. And just listen to my podcast or my videos from back in February and March. These guys are so flipping wrong and just so fear mongering. And just think about it. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be noticed. Everyone is kind of searching for fame. Yeah, me too, man. I always check my analytics. I always want to see. Where's my phone? I don't know what to do. I always want to see my analytics go high, i.e., my views go down. I'm like, oh. If my views go down for a couple days in a row, I'm like, oh, people don't like me anymore. It sucks. I get it. It's a dopamine rush to see a video go through the roof. I'm telling you, I've been there. I get it. Osterholm, Fauci, Birx, all these guys, man, the freaking public health people, the Rachel Levine, they love the attention. And if you love the attention, what do? You want more of it. You don't want it to go away. You don't want the problem solved. Reminds me of the racial industry. They love claiming everybody's white supremacist. Why? Because that would give them more money, more notoriety, more fame. So they have to create white supremacists by hoaxes. We know this. Is COVID a hoax? No. Before anyone sits there and says, oh, but you think COVID's a... No, what I'm trying to say is when you are paid to scare people, you're going to find ways to scare people. The scare will never go away. I mean, just common sense. But I had to say that because there are some real moronic people who watch YouTube videos. All right. Osterholm predicted we could see to 400,000 to 500,000 people die in the U.S. from the disease in the coming months if we didn't get the virus under control. Remember, he said this 2 to 3 days before the shutdowns began. All right, so if we did not get the virus under control, we could see 400,000 to 500,000 people die. Yeah. And guess what? We did everything under the sun to do everything. We destroyed lies that will be perpetual for many years to come. And guess what? As it turns out, his predictions were on the low end. According to CDC, close to 570,000 people are now dead from coronavirus. And we all know who those people who died. Now, again, I'm not even going to debate whether or not, look, we all know the corruption of the CDC. So we'll just leave it at that. As you can see from these numbers, COVID-19 has impacted older groups far more than younger groups. More than 95% of all deaths have occurred for people 50 years or older. The number of deaths was so dramatic it took an entire year off life expectancy. This was the biggest drop in life expectancy since World War II. Around 80% of all COVID deaths have occurred for those 65 or older. Bloomberg created a chart that shows how this impacted the number of retirees collecting Social Security. I'll let you make the connection. Pace of retirees collecting Social Security plunges due to COVID-19 deaths. Pace of retirees collecting Social Security plummets due to COVID deaths, which also means what? Medicare as well. And what's in bigger dire straits, Medicare or Social Security? You can put those two things together. I won't, but I think it's of interest nonetheless. We have, and as I said in my thing about the nursing home crisis in New York State, the second line item in the state of New York, by far, nothing comes close. Number one is education. Nursing home, Medicaid is number two. Almost like there's if you're a governor and you want to show a balanced budget and you know you're running out of money and you don't know how to get money, what do? You reduce costs. How do you reduce costs? I'll let you make those two connections. So the pace of people filing for Social Security fell off a cliff. Interesting. This is especially odd during a recessionary period because typically during these times, more people decide to retire early. This has been an awful 15 months or so for everyone, but if you lost a loved one during this pandemic, that's been even more painful. That's freaking stupid. Losing a loved one's always painful, man. Give me, This whole ordeal shows how fragile life can be. A virus comes out of nowhere. Did it, Ben? Did it? These people can't think, man. I know they think numbers about investments. They don't think anything else. They're so pigeonholed into this. They don't see. They don't have a peripheral view. That's all there is to it. The pandemic came out of nowhere and spreads around the world like wildfire, disrupting and taking lives. I'm a huge advocate for saving money and taking a long-term view when it comes to your finances, but the past year is a stark reminder that the long-term doesn't always work out like we expect. Some people spend decades of their lives planning and saving for retirement only to pass away before they ever truly enjoy the fruits of their labor. Who've been saying that? I would never recommend someone become reckless with their money, but it's important to balance the need for long-term financial planning and the ability to enjoy yourself. This is one of my all-time favorite finance-related comics. Okay, let's see. Investments in retirement planning. Explain to me again why enjoying life when I retire is more important than enjoying life now. Exactly. Striking that balance is never easy because no one knows what the future brings. Kitts has performed a study on the 4% withdrawal rate a few years ago, shows that the extraordinary upside potential of sequence of return risk. Yeah. As the chart shows, on average, a 4% initial withdrawal rate results in the retiree finishing with nearly triple the original principal, on top of sustaining an initial draw rate of 4% annually for inflation. In fact, only 10% of the scenarios does the retiree even finish less with 100% of their starting principal. And in only one of those scenarios does the final value run all the way down to have nothing at the end, which of course defines what defines the 4% makes safe to begin with. It's almost like someone's been preaching this for 4 years on this very own YouTube channel and in my business dealings with clients before that. His work shows most people actually overestimate the amount of money people need in retirement. Now you can make the case returns would be much lower in the future, thus making the future path much harder to see such wonderful upside surprises. But the big takeaway is you can't take it with you. Life is unpredictable. You never know what your time will come. Now, maybe you'll live to be 100. Maybe your life will be cut short by an unforgiving virus or unexpected cause. Either way, what's the point of saving money if you never plan on spending it? Yep. Could not agree more. He doesn't have comments on here, which doesn't surprise me. Yep, 100%, man. And I look. However you get there to say, I think I got enough. I don't care how you get there. Stupid virus, stupid Fauci, stupid Trump. You hate all these guys, whatever, or none of them, or one or two. I really don't care. Whatever it takes to get you off your tush and say, I think I got enough. I think I'm ready to rock and roll. That is a win for you. And then a win for society, too. All right, we'll see you.